Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I'm fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
This, you know what? This is the thing. It don't come up no more. This is as far as it come up. I guess I didn't get the one with the extra long handle on it. It's fine. This one, I like the spin mop. You ain't got to touch it. I twisted the pole. This is as far as it go up. It only go to 48. What's 48? 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 4 feet. This 4 feet tall. This about 4 feet. This about 2 feet. This 2 more feet. That's tall as it go to 48. That's it. It's not meant for me. It's meant for Maria. I love this mop. Girl, it don't the fuck go up. Extendable telescope, 22 to 36 inches or 36 to 48. Bitch, you got 2 choices. 22 to 36 or 36 to 48. That's it. It don't go no fucking higher than that. Okay? Now, do you want the flow clean or not? What the fuck do the size of the mop got to do? Girl, twist. I have twisted. Do you, girl, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'll talk to y'all later. Breon, she crazy as hell, but so are you. The helper came in with a bathrobe, a bathrobe and a suitcase, a roll-on suitcase. Bitch, if you're not showing down with Darius Cooks with a bathrobe and a roll-on suitcase, what are you doing? Okay? Do not ask me why she came in there with that bathrobe on. She was fully dressed, but don't ask me. I don't know. And she had that suitcase. She fit right at home. Anytime you show up, and that's my first time ever meeting you, and you that comfortable, bitch, you at home. She ain't going nowhere. All right? Nowhere.
I'm spirited about this Darius thing. You can't be up in here playing games with my Darius. I will fight you. Okay? I'm not even a fighting person. I don't fight people. But I promise you, boy, what year is this? Back in the top of, shoot, what was it, 2014? It was the end of 2014 or the beginning of 2015 when Darius was given to me. And baby, we went through it over on Periscope. And that baby let everything be known. You know, he was opening up. And, you know, you learn his story. And you be like, you know what? Not on my watch, okay? Nobody else is going to come in here and nobody's going to come in here and mess with my Darius.
What's up, good people? Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by letting me know where you're viewing from. What city, what state are you viewing from? Let me know in the chat to let me know that you can hear me. Welcome to everyone viewing on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Tonight, well, thank you. And thank you to the 93% of you who have voted over here on the YouTube side to let me know that you can hear me. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Oh, if y'all didn't know, if y'all only knew, this is one of them nights. I'm only here because of y'all. I'm only here because of y'all. If it was up to me, I would be eating my Portillos and binge watching something on Netflix. But anyway, we're here and I love y'all. Thank you to the 93% of you who have said you have shared this video and hit that thumbs up. It is greatly appreciated. If you have not as of yet, please do so as soon as you can. It is free to you, but it is invaluable to me and the growth of these platforms. It's also a little way of saying thank you, Vail, for pushing through these. When you're doing these 5 nights a week, it's hard on the brother. And researching all day, y'all. I got a good show for y'all. We got a good show today. And I almost got rid of a topic. I said, no, my people deserve every topic I had in mind at first. Anyway, thank you to everyone letting me know that you can hear me by telling me where you're viewing from. We got Saint Center, Renee, we got Carol Chamberlain, we got Exquisitely Fine, Don, R.N. Smith, Miss Kim, Nicole W, Nicole D, Marianne, his MJ, and TD, Mocha Barbie, Sean, Melly, T Marie, and Kazea. I don't know why, and Misty Blue, and everyone else who's letting me know that you can hear me. I greatly appreciate it. I don't know why I've been struggling with your name lately. Anyway, this evening, let me get into let me do all the housekeeping stuff. I'm just skipping around. Also, what's up to our channel members? Everyone you see in the chat whose username is in green over here on the YouTube side, that means that they are a channel member. And what that means is they have special VIP privileges, such as custom emojis that they have access to. Also, they get early access to new videos, including the interview that I currently have up with the young lady, Chef J. Ricard, who is a young lady that Darius Crooks stole, another Black woman who Darius stole something from. And with her, it happened to be the tagline that he uses, "Food is my life and life is my food." She explains it in the one-on-one exclusive interview that I did with her of how that all went down. Also, you get member shout outs. That means that because you're a channel member, you are highlighted. And so when I am pressed and can't read many comments, I can prioritize the member comments. Also, we'll be doing our members only lives once a month. We'll have a members only unfiltered live where we'll just have fun. You guys will be able to come up on the screen and talk to me and chit chat and give me show ideas or just talk about topics, whatever you guys, however you want that to look. But anyway, you can join by hitting the join button below this video, or if you want to simplify it, I'm going to put the link in the chat here, both on YouTube and Facebook. You can click this link and it'll take you right to where you can sign up. And just in case, for those who may ask or may be wondering, it is different than our Patreon, because with our Patreon, it is personal. It is about me as an influencer, entrepreneur, and my journey through life, period. And it's unfiltered over there. But over here, the channel membership is specifically about the channel content and things related to the things we do on this channel. My world is so much bigger than this channel. I know some of y'all think when I'm not on here, I'm just gone, like I'm a figment of your imagination. I'm just here on the camera, or I don't exist. No. I'm a human being. I got a real life outside of this with real life stuff going on. And those who are part of our Patreon executive people, they know that. They actually know that. They know pretty much in detail too. So tonight, the topics that we have on our agenda, I was trying to make it not be too short of a show, but one of the first topics that I knew I ran into this morning, and I definitely was like, I'm definitely going to, I ain't know nothing about this story until this morning. And I was like, we got to do the story. Well, I got to digging, and Lord, it took us down a rabbit hole that I wasn't expecting, and it ended up taking most of my research time. I wasn't expecting. I thought it was like a quick little story. Oh my God, y'all, it's so much tea with this, and it's an unfortunate story, but it's so many twists and turns, and it ain't done, y'all. I think it's a new story for us to follow. So I'm excited in the sense of sharing the story with y'all, but not excited about the tragedy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not excited about the tragedy, but I'm like, oh my God. I was literally like, it's like, what? I thought this was just about this. Then we have, and these are church-related stories. This wasn't on purpose. It just kind of happened. I ran into it this morning. One of the stories, that the one I'm talking about, that's basically a rabbit hole. First lady of a church was found unalive. There's a whole thing. We'll get into that. That's our first story. Second story is a pastor in a church. Someone came into the church and tried to take him out. And God intervened. God said, no, I did not ordain this. Then we have another crazy person, 3 crazy people stories. Another crazy person on a city bus in Oklahoma City was unhappy that the bus driver wouldn't stop the bus any old way they wanted him to. And they attacked the bus driver while the bus was in motion. Jesus, y'all. Crazy people out here. Then we're going to give a quick little celebrity update on the Rickey Smiley versus Brian McKnight, and Brian McKnight's son, Nico, versus Tyrese. We're going to do that real quick. I almost got rid of that story for the night, but I was like, I think the live might be too short if I do that. Then just some viral clips towards the end, and some warnings for us. You know, I like to do my little PSA announcements and these sort of lies, things for us to look out for so that we don't become victims from all these crazy ass people out here. So moving into our first story, we have, oh, well, let me put the poll up first. Have you heard this story of the first lady of a church who was found powed? I got to find some new words. I got to find some better words. I don't like pow pow. I don't like, anyway, she was found unalive with a just because I can't think of nothing right now. Shot to the head. I told you I'm tired. My vocabulary shrinks when I'm tired. Have you heard the story? So in South Carolina, a pastor's wife was they're alleging that she powed herself. Was found powed and unalived herself in Robeson County, North Carolina. The medical examiner said that he was at the scene helping on a call, helping an on-call medical examiner. And this all occurred on April the 27th at Lumbee River State Park. That's where the body of 30-year-old Mica Miller was found. She was the wife of John Paul Miller, the pastor of Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I was there for my birthday last year. No, was that last year? No, it was the year before last. It was nice. Have you heard this story? Closing out this poll. I did see everybody people still voting, but I got to keep the show moving. Got to keep the show moving. Now I'll leave this up for a minute. I'm going to move this one down. Why I got this one? This poll question so high up. Let me bring it down. I'll put it right here. There we go. Don't worry about it. Y'all keep voting. Online records show that Mica and John were in the process of getting a divorce. During the weekend, there were 2 separate memorials held at the same time to honor Mica's life. One organized by her husband, man right here, and the other organized by her friends. They was like, we not going with you. We not memorializing her with you. We something ain't right about this. You know something is wrong when they have 2 different memorial services on the same day, same time. Something is seriously wrong. Something is seriously wrong. They said the documents show that Mica believed a person was following and watching her, even deflating her tires and pestering her with phone calls. A mechanic reportedly found a tracking device on her car. Gonna play this little news clip, give y'all a little overview, then we're gonna keep going. This is a rabbit hole, y'all.
This morning, questions growing around the unexpected death of a South Carolina pastor's wife.
There's got to be some accountability here.
30-year-old Mica Miller was found dead at a state park in North Carolina, about an hour north of where she lived in Myrtle Beach. Authorities opening an investigation into her death, but saying the community is not in danger.
She was probably the greatest wife anyone could ask for.
Her husband, a pastor at a local church, announcing her death after preaching last week, saying it was self-induced. Authorities have not confirmed or released a cause of death. Some community members protesting outside the church Sunday. This as Mica's friends and family say they don't think she took her own life.
We were talking about her coming to church Sunday, getting her some help with her car payment, just life stuff, just her moving forward.
Clark saying Mica was planning to get a divorce. She had filed for divorce once before in October 2023. That case consensually dismissed in February. In March, Mica posting, "Please share this with anyone struggling with leaving a dangerous situation."
God hates divorce because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that?
And this was her last Facebook post. When terrible, terrible, terrible things happen to you, y'all know what I'm talking about. RPF.
It's one of them nights, y'all. It's one of them nights. Bear with me. Bear with me. The poll question I just closed out. I forgot the rating. But it was like half of y'all, I think it was 40-something% of you had heard of this story before. And I was saying that it's starting to go viral now. So I can see why it's almost half of y'all. It came on my radar this morning via YouTube. So next poll question I'm putting out there is, do you think, based on the little bit I've given you so far, for those of you who don't know much about the story, do you think this was foul play? Do you think this was foul play? So there's the two incidents that occurred in the days before her actual unaliving, well, I think weeks before her unaliving. There were two incidents reports from the same day that provided details of Mica's harassment that she reported to the police. At two separate times, on two separate times on March 11th, an unknown person slashed her car tires with a tire deflation device that police said could be purchased online. After Miller heard the pop of her tire, she drove home just in time for her tire to be completely flat. Now, was that somebody trying to set her up for her tire to blow out and her to have a major car accident and hopefully be unalive from it? I don't know. Just things to think about. She called the police and told the responding officer that she believed a suspect whose name was redacted from the police report. So she did say the person's name is just not out publicly. It's redacted from the police reports. She said that person was who she felt was responsible for slashing her tires. However, the police said there was not sufficient proof that the suspect was responsible for the destruction. You know how the police get. Did you see him do it? We got it. You got him on tape. You ain't got him on tape. We can't do nothing about it. But I know he's trying to get me. He's doing this. He said he was going to do it, and then it happened. That don't mean nothing. That was just a threat. So the police officer helped her change her tire at her residence. Shortly after, she took her car to a gas station for fuel, and was then the suspect who she had mentioned earlier. She said who she believed was responsible for slashing her tire in the first report arrived at the gas station trying to talk to her, according to police. So the person who she said with the first incident there of her tire being slashed, and she told the police, hey, this person, I know they did it. They like, oh, we can't do nothing about that. You ain't got no proof. Anybody could have did this. I'll help you change the tire though. She like, God dog it. She goes to the gas station. That same person who she knew slashed her tire shows up trying to talk to her. Mica told they said the male suspect, so they saying it's a male, so now we at least know it's a male. They haven't said the name of the person, but it's a male. They said Mica told the male subject to go away and leave her alone. She pulled out her phone and recorded the incident, but then the suspect sped away. So she had it on video. Then her reports of harassment. The 30-year-old then drove straight to the local Honda dealer to get a temporary tire replaced. The suspect showed up at the car dealership again. So this same suspect who she says slashed her tire, who then showed up at the gas station when she went there, then shows up at the car dealer when she goes there. That's when Miller called, they're calling her Miller. That's when Mica called the police for the second time that day. The suspect had left by the time the police arrived at the dealership. When the police was with Miller, she received a no caller ID phone call from the suspect, according to the police reports. The officer said he talked with the suspect and told him to leave Mica alone or else he would be cited. The officer said the suspect acknowledged him. After the police left the dealership, Miller texted him that the dealer discovered a tracking device on her car. So that's how the unknown male was able to go wherever she was to slash her tire. Then when she ended up at the gas station, they mysteriously show up there. Then when she goes to the dealership, that's how they mysteriously showed up there. They had a tracker on her car. So they said, according to police reports, an hour after the incident, Mica was trying to get a restraining order against the suspect at the police department, where they, after they retrieved the GPS tracker. The officer was standing outside of the magistrate office with Mica when a white Honda Accord slowly drove by the office. And Mica then informed the officer that it was the suspect in the car, police reports state. The suspect then sped up and drove away, tracking her all day. Then we have the actual police report from that day. I should have did a better job of, I wasn't thinking. I don't know if I'm able to see this. It's kind of small. Try to make it out. I can't enlarge it in this program. All right, let me try. This is the first incident report. I think there are two separate ones, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think this is the one about the tire. So it says officers were dispatched to, they give the address in Myrtle Beach area for a report of a razor being placed in her tire at the location, and they give the other location, who stated that the second time the razor had, you know what, I could put it, I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm struggling. I could pull it in the original image. Make this larger where I can see it. Bear with me, talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. Let me open up all three. Why it ain't opening? Oh, the computer. Now it's saying I can't find it. Oh, Lord. Now it's saying I can't find those. Hold on. Maybe I can do this. I'm literally looking at them and it's saying I can't find the document. That ain't gonna work. Oh, well, I'm going to keep struggling to try to read it. They stated that she was at the Spring Maid Pier around 1:30. Stated as she was leaving, she heard a pop and noticed that a piece of metal was protruding from her tire. She made it home and found that the tire had almost fully deflated by that point. I think the officer observed the tire upon the removal of the metal piece. It was found that the metal was a tire deflation device that can be purchased online. So it must have been something that was purposefully meant to like slowly deflate the tire or something. Like, just why are you going through all that? Just stab it. But it's like the person didn't want the tire to deflate immediately or something. Is that if I'm understanding this properly? Because otherwise, why are you purchasing something offline to puncture a tire? You use a knife out the kitchen to do that. She noticed the strange activity and what she believes as people following or watching her. I can't understand all these codes, but it says has a history of similar actions against her. So things have been done even before this particular day where she was obviously being stalked. She's had other incidents. These are the ones we know about. So this was the second incident report on that same day. So they say they responded to the address, the Honda dealership in Myrtle Beach. They give in the section. They give a lot of information in reference to a harassment. The officer says, upon my arrival, I spoke with the victim. She advised she was just out with one of our officers getting a report for an unknown person slashing her tires. She advised the officer help change her tire, and then she went to the gas station for gas and then straight to East Coast Honda to get her tire fixed. She advised She advised when at the gas station, the suspect in this incident showed up next to her at the pump trying to talk to her. She told him to go away. She does not want to talk. And then when she pulled her phone out to record, he sped off. The victim then leaves and goes to East Coast Honda, and the suspect shows up again. And then they redacted a whole sentence or two. That's two and a half lines. While I was out with the victim, she received a no caller ID call, which ended up being the suspect. The suspect was advised that the victim does not want any further contact, and if he proceeds, then warrants may possibly be written up. The suspect acknowledged the advisory by saying, okay. Then the victim advised me she was afraid for her life. Pay attention to this, y'all. The victim advised me she was afraid for her life. She also advised she blocks his numbers and he still gets calls and texts from other numbers. I guess he's still getting calls in from other numbers. After clearing the call and my departure, there's another page. Got put on my side too. Hold on. I be forgetting how blind I am because it's easier for me to see stuff when I'm sitting here working, but when I got to do the show, it's a different setup. Then I'm like, why wasn't I thinking? I just knowing it's too small for me to see. Should have made this larger. From the Honda dealership, the victim had texted me and stated that the mechanic had found a tracking device on her vehicle. About an hour later, she notified me that she was at the magistrate office trying to get a restraining order. I asked the victim if I could come and get the GPS from her, and she said yes. While I was standing out front of the magistrate office with the victim, a white in color Honda Accord had slow rolled down and they just gave the name of the street, in front of the magistrate office, and the victim stated that was the suspect in her car driving by. The vehicle then sped up and drove off, and then nothing further is what they have. So Mica had a hell of a last few weeks of life, obviously, clearly. So Mica's death has been the focus of much speculation since it became known that she had died. Her husband was the first to call Mica's death a suicide. He was quick to say, "Oh yeah, she took herself. Oh yeah, she gone, and she took herself." Close out this poll question before we put the next one. Do you think it was foul play? 91% of you say yes. 9% of you say no. I understand the 9%. Some of y'all probably know the end of this story, or at least the end as of what we know as of now. And y'all just go with it stuff on face value. We can't ignore all of these pieces leading us to where we are today. Next poll question going out related to this story. Do you think her husband was somehow involved? Somehow involved. Not saying he actually did it, but do you think he was somehow involved in it getting to this place where we no longer have Mica with us on this side of heaven? So then her friends and family have come forward with questions and concerns about her death. That leads us into the investigation because they like, I told y'all, they had their own separate service. They like, we're not going in and having no service with that devil. The investigation. So there was an investigation launched into her April 27th unaliving. After her family and friends urged police to deeply investigate Mica's murder. They said deeply investigate it. Don't just gloss over it. Don't just take everything off the surface at face value. Deeply investigate this. Y'all gonna see why they would say that as we go through. I ain't done. Told y'all this is a rabbit hole. They go on to say her husband, John Paul Miller, announced her unaliving the following day to his congregation, claiming the 30-year-old had taken her own life after struggling with mental illness. He was quoted as saying, "I got the call last night. My wife has passed away. It was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina." I got the clip. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I don't know. Maybe I'm a blogger just looking for something that ain't there. But y'all let me know what y'all think.
Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement.
No, it's buffering. It'll be fine. It should be.
And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next little bit. I don't want to I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can. I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't. Y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come. But just keep our family in your prayers. And I'm going to let Pastor Randall, Bishop, he can pray. I get a microphone and pray out. And if you have anything you want to share as well.
It is very telling. Who that? Saint Center, devoid of emotion. it's very telling when a person is guilty like that. I gotta say alleged because I'm not involved in the situation. I gotta say allegedly. But when a person is allegedly involved in situations like this, y'all know we cover a lot of this type of stuff. I'm always reading these stories, even the ones I never bring to y'all. There's a pattern, there's a cycle in certain things that people do when they're responsible for the unalivings of people. They don't have to be the person who pulled the trigger, but to come out, one of the things they first do is they talk about how the person died before it really gets known and out to the public. How you saying he didn't wrap up the case? He like wrap it up in the bowl. Let's just go ahead and put it in the ground. Actually, probably want to burn. Probably want to cremate her. Make sure ain't no chance of them, exhuming her body and finding nothing else, putting no connections. She's probably been cremated. We need to check because they did say memorial service. They did not say funeral. I don't know for sure, but this just me. Thinking out loud. But he waited until the end. I would like to see the entire service because I want to analyze. I pay attention to body language too. I want to see the entire sermon to see how was he behaving leading up to the end. Then this is another thing that people who are guilty of true crimes do. First of all, they're going to talk about the person dying. They're going to try to they'll say things that everybody don't know, or they'll be quick to rush to close the case. Like whatever the assumption is. Yeah, that's what's happening. A husband, they were getting a divorce or whatever. But even with that, a husband who cared or a family member who cared would be like, well, can we make sure that's what happened? Can we, do you have surveillance? Can we just, blah, 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 do an autopsy, all that? But a person who wants them to wrap it up, yes, you going with it. You going with how I got this set up. Go ahead. Yeah, let's close this out. That's how they would do it. Then he come to his church. And again, I don't know what the sermon was looking like. But he wait to the very end. Tells the congregation, stand up. We're going to listen to that part again too. Tell them to stand up. He wait to the very, very end. Tells them in a short yet heartless way, yeah, she gone. Y'all know she had mental issues. That's another thing they do. They try to diminish the other person, the person who's gone. And somehow, if they can, flip their unaliving on them. Somehow they had some, they hung out with a rough crowd. They had that secret life. Something. He did that. Then he and that's it. All right, y'all go and don't talk about it. Just leave. What? Who would say after losing someone they love, don't y'all talk about it? You talking to a whole congregation of however many people, at least probably 100 maybe, or more. You telling these people they can't talk about it in the church, they got to get on out of here and don't mention it again? Let's forget she ever existed. What? He told on himself. With this. We're going to do the whole thing one more time. It's pretty short. I'm going to pause it here and there. He told on himself.
The altar call today. Instead,
he didn't even do an altar call. He don't nobody need to have their soul saved today. We ain't going to even do an altar call. I want y'all to get the hell out of here. Because there's too many eyes on me. I want y'all to start paying attention to body language and all that. Y'all get the hell out of here. Wow.
Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement,
I'm going to ask you to stand up for this. Are y'all hearing this? That 9% of y'all who don't think there's no foul play involved in this woman's unaliving. He ain't saying I'm about to make an announcement. He said, stand up, get your purses, put your jackets on, grab your babies, wrap them tight. And once I get done with my last word, get your ass out of here. Don't you say nothing or talk to nobody. Keep your mouth closed as you walk out of here. And looking at this crowd just from here, that's at least 100 plus people. Y'all better not say a mumbling word. Get your ass out of here. What? Stand up. Not stand up in so I saw somebody say he didn't say a moment of silence for her. He didn't say stand up so we can give a moment of silence or give God some praise. He said stand up so your ass can be ready to walk out this door. I don't even want even your seniors, get your asses up, get them walkers together. Because I don't want y'all taking no time to get on out of here after I say this, because I don't want no questions. What? Wow.
I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement.
I ask that you leave church quietly. Now, do he say that every Sunday? Because if he don't say that every Sunday, then I got a problem with this statement. That's a problem with it, period, because I don't like the controlling nature of that, the sound of that. How the hell you gonna tell all these hundreds of grown-ass folks who paying your tithes and offerings that they must keep their mouths shut, leave in silence, and don't even talk about what? Dude, you on something.
Here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next, little bit. I don't want to have. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't.
I'm also asking that y'all continue to financially support this church, because I know y'all about to start having questions about how she just gone the way she gone, and y'all already know we had all kind of issues. We're gonna get into that in a minute too. I need y'all to still support the church. This is cult leader behavior, y'all, if y'all ain't noticing it. Sociopathic for sure, because even how we got all this going down. But cult leader behavior, don't you ask no questions, and I'm gonna need you to continue to do what I instructed you to do before, even though I'm stepping away for a while. Wow.
I won't have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know.
My break may be a few days, few weeks, few months, few years, depending on how much time I get. But keep supporting this, because they're gonna be putting money on my books. I don't know. He may not. I don't know. I think this is gonna be so convoluted. I think it's gonna be similar to Tim Norman's situation, where it just wasn't cut and dry. Like Tim didn't have direct connection to what happened to. I mean, he did. You know what I'm saying? Once you put the pieces together, he did. But from the outside looking in, it didn't look like Tim had any connection to what happened to Tim, especially from us as the public. And I can't forget to say something that's similar to what happened with Dre happened in this situation. Don't y'all let me forget. Say, Vel, remind us what's like the Dre story with this. Because I don't think I got it in my notes.
Late last night, my wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced.
Yeah, I got a call last night. Look, hand on his heart. Trying to get a little verklempt, just a little bit. Yeah, I got a call last night. Then my wife, yeah, she was gone. It was self-induced. He get right to it. Let me close this out. It was self-induced. Well, y'all get to wondering about me.
And it was up in North Carolina. And we're gonna have.
And it was in North Carolina. That's my alibi, because that's so far away from where some of my witnesses know that I actually was. I got all the way up in North Carolina. I got away from me, from where my phones would be pinged, so they look like I ain't had nothing to do with it. All right. Mm-hmm.
Funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m.
We having a funeral for her next Sunday at 3 p.m. We got to get her in the ground as quick as possible. Burn her up as quick as possible. Wrap this up. And don't y'all talk about that either. At the funeral, y'all can't talk.
And so it's all I can, yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And
I'm going on adrenaline right now. Y'all pray for me and my kids.
And
his adrenaline is rushing because he knows that he could not avoid having this moment, but he knows that people looking at him with suspicion for good reason. I need to know if he is that person who was stalking her all day on March 11th with the trackers and all that.
y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and then
Kai Speaks says up in North Carolina, LOL. North Carolina is like 10 minutes away from Myrtle. I actually, after I said it, I was like, ain't that close, but I don't live there. So I'm like, maybe he's saying something in a way that I don't know. He said up in North Carolina, 10 minutes away, up down the street.
she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her.
She needed her. Now, y'all know she had mental issues. And they like, well, it went down like that? Because I just talked to her a couple hours before that. Yeah, she had medicine, but we couldn't get it to her. Okay. He tried to put his alibi together up there on the in the pulpit.
And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come.
I'm sure there'll be more details to come. Yeah, like your role in this. Hondo 72 says, narcissist emulating sadness. You are so correct about that, friend. He's emulating sadness. Let me put my hand up here on my chest, on my heart. I'm gonna try to make my voice look a little bit verklempt, like I've been crying a little bit, or like I'm trying to hold back tears.
But just keep our family in your prayers, and I'm going to let Pastor Randall, Bishop, he can pray. I give him a microphone, he'll pray out. And if you have anything you want to share as well, we're not going to do it all.
I ain't banning it. I don't know, some of y'all might be banning it, but I ain't banning it. It ain't working for me. It ain't working for me. So then a Facebook group called the Justice for Mica pointed out a statement in her obituary. Why did I pull her obituary? That they said felt odd. There's a lot about this that feels odd, and I still ain't done. They said that it reads, and it's her husband writing about himself and how she thought of him or something. In her obituary, it says she would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world, even if it wasn't true. She would also tell him he was the funniest preacher in the world, even though it wasn't true either. I want to see the rest of this obituary. I wish I had been thinking I would have pulled that too. We're gonna be following up on this. I just got a feeling this story ain't going away no time soon. I just got a feeling. Even though when we get to the end, some of y'all gonna think it's done. It ain't done. Some people are very crafty when it comes to this sort of thing. Do you think that her husband was somehow involved? 96% of you do. 4% of you say no. The 4% of you who are saying no, unless your finger slipped, I'm just curious. Why would you think her husband is not involved? Is it based on what comes at the end? Because we ain't done. Some of y'all gonna wrap it up in the bow at the end. I ain't. Next poll question coming out is, did Pastor John Paul's announcement seem cold and heartless? What we just watched, that video, did it seem cold and heartless? The family and friends say, as I said earlier, they aren't buying what he said. They asked the police to deeply investigate the circumstances surrounding her death. Her friends told the news that he has a gut feeling that Mica did not unalive herself. He says, I don't believe it for a minute. Similarly, Mica's former friend Ken and Alicia Young said they absolutely believe that she did not take her life. So Mica had also filed for divorce, according to reports, multiple times. She had filed multiple times for legal separation from John Paul. In October of 23, she filed for divorce. They said on her Facebook post, she posted about abuse, offering advice for people who may be in abusive relationships. Some believe the video is proof that Mica Miller was in an abusive relationship herself, that it wasn't just her speaking, as a first lady of a church who just, wanted to give words of encouragement. It appears as though she was speaking from a place of experience. And here's the actual clip. Y'all know I don't play. Y'all know I don't play. That's why I'm tired. I had to pull all this. I had to research all this all today. It's deep, y'all.
I've had a lot of women that have reached out to me about situations of abuse. And I just want to tell you what a lot of people have told me lately and reminded me, because I think I forgot. I knew, but I pushed it in the back of my head just because of my situation. But you are the bride of Christ. Before anybody else's bride, male or female, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Abuse is abuse. And you are the bride of Christ. And my Bible says that he took all the abuse you could think of for you so that you didn't have to live that life of slavery and bondage and pain. Jesus took it all for you. So you don't have to stay in a abusive relationship, whether that's psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are. God hates divorce, but why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that? So I want to remind you, like a bunch of people have been reminding me lately, that I'm God's bride first. And even an earthly spouse who's a good spouse, when they know that their bride is being hurt, just imagine what an earthly spouse does. What do you think your heavenly spouse does? When you're the bride of Christ and he sees his bride going through abuse and hurt, what do you think he thinks about that? So, encouragement in all this is, you are the bride of Christ first before anybody else's. And he's got you. And he sees you. And he loves you.
So that's Mica in her own words. And Bestie G, I do take it as shade. Talking about you look like you've been up working all day. It's shady, but it's true. So I'm going to let it slide. So that was Mica leaving a PSA, speaking out about abuse and giving advice to those who have experienced abuse. Do y'all think do you think it sounded like it was also coming from a personal space? Poll question, we're closing out. Did Pastor John Paul's announcement seem cold and heartless? 97% of you say yes. 3% of you say no. And okay, maybe y'all cold and heartless too. Then what am I doing? I must have skipped that. Okay, yeah, okay. Oh no, okay, I jumped. That's my bad. So then here's another overview of the story. We got a couple of these because each newscast to me gave a slightly different perspective or a little bit more information. So here's another one that gives us some more information because we're not down the rabbit hole completely yet, y'all. We still digging down that rabbit hole.
Authorities are investigating the death of a South Carolina pastor's wife after her body was found in a state park about a week ago. Pastor John Paul Miller told his congregation that his wife, 30-year-old Mica, took her own life after struggling with mental illness. But her friends and family say otherwise and want police to, quote, deeply investigate what happened. More than 100 people rallying outside John Paul's church in Myrtle Beach, demanding justice for Mica. This happened on Sunday. Our very own Kelsey Kernstein has been digging into the story. Kelsey, some pretty startling court documents revealing what may have happened just before Mica died.
Yeah, hey there, Hannah. They really are startling. So according to reports, just days before she died, she filed multiple times for illegal separation from her husband. We're also learning that she even filed for divorce back in October. Then Mica posted on Facebook about abuse just weeks ago. The video offers advice for people who may be in an abusive relationship. And some believe that this video is proof that Mica was in one herself.
God hates divorce. But why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that?
So according to the police report, 30-year-old Mica Miller died on April 27th. We know that her body was found in Lumbee River State Park in North Carolina. That is just about an hour away from where the Millers live in Myrtle Beach. Just days after she died, her husband, Pastor John.
So she passed away. I forgot who that is and made that comment. Like, it's 10 minutes up the road. So he made sure she was a convenient hour away. Y'all know an hour away is like far enough for you to say it's far, but close enough for you to kind of get there in a reasonable amount of time. Like, it ain't like, I got to pack a lunch to go there. You know what I'm saying? It's that hour is the sweet spot of like you want to get away from your family, like your family toxic, and you like, I'm moving away from these crazy ass people. I'm gonna move an hour away, but you're still close enough that if something really happened, an emergency, you can get to them. That's what that hour, and it's also far enough to commit a crime and get rid of the evidence, but close enough where you ain't have to put too much effort into it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying? Oh, this is just straight up from straight up setup.
Paul Miller told his parishioners that she had taken her own life and blamed it on her years of mental health struggles. However, police say they are still investigating how Mica died.
I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. Y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't, y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her.
And this is interesting.
People aren't usually also quick to, like, it's all kind of, again, I just heard about this morning, so I'm still processing. Y'all know I process. People also aren't quick to blame the person who is no longer with us, even if it's of their own. Let's say it's a drug overdose or drunk driving, car accident, whatever, and it was their, they were the reason, the cause for it. People still ain't quick to be like, yeah, they always been drinking. They always, they've been a drunk their whole life. Even if it's true. Like, this was their 15th DUI. We knew this was going to happen one day. Even if it's true, people hold that until after at least they in the ground. What?
Too, a Facebook group called Justice for Mica pointed out a statement from her obituary that they believe was odd. It reads, she would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world, in parentheses, even if it wasn't true. She also told him he was the funniest preacher in the world, in parentheses, even if that wasn't true either. We also know on Sunday, dozens of people came together in Myrtle Beach, and they gathered outside the church to rally for Mica and send a message to her husband. Take a listen.
I came out today to support her, to support her family, to support her story, because her story is important and it needs to be heard.
I remember one time passing by just saying hi, and it was like the biggest smile on her face, saying hi back.
Mica's sister also telling her friends on social media not to listen to false stories being shared about Mica. And a friend of Mica is also saying that she spoke to Mica multiple times a week before she died, and that her final text to her on Friday night was not a woman about to die, but a woman making plans to live. We have also reached out to John Paul Miller's church for comment, and we were told that now is not a good time to interview him. Hannah?
Kelsey Kernstein, so many unanswered questions. Really? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's so many layers to this. Why am I forgetting? Which video? Oh, this one. Jesus. Ooh, y'all. I don't know if I'm going to get through all these stories tonight. We're going to see. We stole the first one. We're an hour in. I knew it was deep, but I guess I wasn't thinking this story would take this long. I'm probably getting rid of one of these stories. Two of them. We'll be back tomorrow. So then, now we see, this is how you know that there's something fishy going on, that there is a complete ruckus and uproar amongst the people who knew them best. The friends, the congregation. He said all that he said in that church, like, rise up, get your coats, get your jacket, get your wheelchairs, get the hell out of here. But I got an announcement first. He did that because he knew what they're doing there with picket signs. They was going to be in that church doing that same thing. Like, what happened? We knew you was going to do that. They've been hollering. It was going to get ghetto up in there. He knew it. They were like, rise, go. And I'm going to give Bishop so-and-so, he going to get the mic to close y'all out and pray. I'm finna run to the back. Oh, he knew. Oh, he knew. He knew they wasn't finna just sit there telling them to be quiet and walk out of here in silence. He knew. Oh, he knew. So her friends are also speaking out online, speaking out in interviews. Got 2 separate clips for that. Here's one.
And he is just not buying into the notion that this was suicide. What else did you find out from him?
Well, he basically, I think, echoes what a lot of people are feeling at this time, which is like really just troubled. He knows both of them. A lot of people here are reticent to talk. He wasn't. He was also at this church, which is JP. He goes by JP's church. This man is Tim Carter. I believe we have some sound of he and I talking back and forth. So let's just roll that sound.
I'm not going to judge my gut feeling. I don't agree. The young lady was energetic. She was making plans. It just doesn't sound like someone committing suicide. It sounds like someone is getting ready to live life again, really starting her life over. And just going off what we've seen, what I witnessed, you know, the character and how treatment and how we were treated and talked to, and I just don't believe it for a minute.
You mentioned she was making plans. Like, what type of plans?
From what I understand, she had an appointment to get her hair done this week. She was looking forward to moving on. She had filed paperwork and just served it 2 days prior.
So not behavior somebody who's planning to take their own life.
Not if I'm thinking about suicide. I'm not worried about court dates and paperwork or my hair. It doesn't sound that to me.
So basically, his sentiments echo what the family's saying. They're asking for a deep investigation here, Ashley.
So I have another question, and it's about another pastor. There seem to be a lot of pastors and deacons and leadership and former members, et cetera. But to be clear, I think, just to get clarity, I think you spoke with another pastor as well. I'm not sure if he was at that church or another church, but it's somebody who actually knows John Paul, and he had a very different read on the whole situation. What do you know?
Yeah, he basically had the same, like, he's known JP for his whole life. He was in leadership here at this church. He said, point blank, JP did not kill his wife, Mica. I said, how do you know it? He said, I don't know, but I know JP. So he's very defensive of his character. He says, look,
I don't know, but it would bother me if it was true, so it can't be true. Some people got to wake the hell up. People monsters lurk amongst us, and it can catch us off guard, but it happens. Just because we wasn't expecting it don't mean it ain't true.
He was counseling them. Something did happen, he said, in January, but he doesn't know what.
What about this whole notion that he thinks that there's an alibi to this, that the pastor in question has an alibi, which would get him off scot-free? Why won't he just come forth and tell everybody before the media speculation, runs amok?
That's a good question. This pastor said JP was in another part of South Carolina at the time. That will come out.
By design. By design. Of course he was in another part of South Carolina.
So I said, like, why don't we all just talk on the record?
Tim Norman was in another part of, his alibi was that he was in LA. Unfortunately, the idiot didn't think about the fact that they would have flight records, which proved he was in St. Louis when Andre's life was taken. But he tried to use the alibi of, I was in LA, even lied to his mama.
And then he officially just declined about 10 minutes before air tonight. He said, I cannot talk to you on the record about this anymore.
And then just to be clear here, Rich, the incidents that Mica had reported, it's redacted. We don't know who the suspect is, but if you read it, it kind of looks like she knows the person, that the same person kept coming back and, coming after her. She says, I got a razor in my tire. I had a tire deflation device. I went to get it repaired, and they discovered the tracking device. And as she's at these places and getting gas, this suspect is driving up and kind of almost chasing her location to location. And there's witnesses to this. Why is it all redacted? And is anybody saying who that suspect is? Is it John Paul, the estranged pastor husband?
People believe it is. Why it's redacted is anybody's guess. We're talking with.
It's redacted because it is him, and he's gonna be a suspect. Duh. Nah, I don't know for sure. It is looking like it. I'm gonna put that in the poll. Do you think the husband is the one in this report? Is that who she's been naming?
Local police here. There's something I do want to bring up that we haven't discussed yet, is that in an affidavit in the probate court, Mica's family just filed trying to take control of this. Her sister wrote, that Mica said to her, if I end up with a bullet in my head, it was not by me, it was JP. That is in court documents. So that's like she's almost speaking from the grave, actually. It's kind of chilling.
Oh, Rich McHugh, it's still a mystery.
Did y'all hear that part? I forgot where I had heard it. Remember, those of you who've been around, because y'all know we do true crime. We covered the Andre Montgomery story, the James Timothy Norman. The thing that helped them, gave them the breadcrumbs that led them to eventually getting to Tim Norman 7 years later, but nevertheless led them to getting, being able to capture Tim Norman and figure out he was a part of this, was Andre's words himself from as they're saying, from the grave, where Andre Montgomery told his family, if something happens to me, my Uncle Tim did it. Fast forward, unfortunately, was a year later. I don't even know if a few months later, whatever it was, a year later, Andre ends up unalived. Who do we later find out did it with mountains of evidence? Tim Norman, his uncle. Mica has already given us everything we need. Don't be buying this storyline. Mica already told us if something happens to me, this person did it. Well, she said her husband did it. She said his name. She said his name. Man, that's sad. Like when you know you're being hunted down to the point that you tell people, but ain't nothing you can do to stop it. You're getting police incident reports. You know, she was. I saw somebody saying, I still haven't dug deep. I haven't dug outside of what the news stuff. I haven't dug outside of that yet. So I don't know the other personal stories y'all saying that she was couch surfing and all of that. I didn't know all of that. But she going through that extent, trying to get away from this man, trying to build a new life. I saw Marianne saying she's trying to build I'm trying to move to Africa to build schools. She was doing all that trying to get away, and this monster still got her. That's sad. Hunted her down. Even though I'm still not done with the story. I know some of y'all like, Vil, you don't know what you're talking about because that ain't what happened at the end. I know what happened at the end. I work my way through a timeline, and I still give y'all the receipts along the way.
Rich McHugh, it's still a mystery, and I'm going to depend on you to try to see if you can't sort through a bit more.
So they're not done. I think this must have been the same newscaster, the same people. So you had that man who spoke about her making hair appointments. Actually, and not that it can't happen at all. I ain't what I'm gonna say, but all these other circumstances tied into this, and all of these hundreds of people who knew her, who are saying this ain't right, this ain't her, this ain't what Mica would do. They got fucking picket lines out there. Because they like, no, not on our watch. Those are the things that make me say, So here's another group of friends who get on and they tell They actually tell why they think they tell that they don't think she did it. They also give us tea for some of y'all who don't know this part. They give us tea on the background, and I was not expecting that when I watched this, and I literally was like, I caught myself like, I was not expecting what we're about to hear. Not at all.
People who knew Mica and John Paul very well. Ken and Alicia Young were members of the Solid Rock Church, and they often socialized with Mica and with John Paul. Thank you to both of you for doing this. If I can, Ken, let me start with you. You were a worship leader at this church. You were there 2019 to 2020. You socialized with this couple, Mica and John Paul. You went to movies. Can you describe for me what their relationship was like?
First of all, thank you for having us on. But, it's kind of a loaded question. When we first met them, I saw what, on the surface, it seemed to be a happy relationship. There were just some things that I saw. So I got to know them more in ways that he would speak to her at times, and was just kind of red flags. I can't say it was one particular incident. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was just kind of a consistent way that he treated her. And honestly, in some ways, he kind of treated a lot of women that way from what I saw.
So they already, this one I was like, ooh, this is getting good. Because I was just screen recording to pull stuff for y'all. And I'd be listening and doing other stuff. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. It sounds like he's describing a bit of a cult leader, like a dictatorship. This is the kind of stuff Darius Crooks was talking about yesterday, that you got to obey. When you in church, you got to obey. You got to submit. This sounds like the kind of congregation that John Paul was running as well. You got to submit. Let me close out this poll. I'm about to put another one up. Do you think that her husband's name is in that incident report? 86% of you say yes. 14% of you say no. I don't know. I can see you saying, yeah, that don't mean it was him. But she did also say, if I end up with a bullet in my head, it was him. So that probably means she's used to being stalked by him, or stalked and threatened and treated poorly, as this man is saying that John Paul has a history of treating all women like they're less than. Like many cult leaders.
I want to ask you something. I know that you have mentioned before that one of the things that you really disliked about this church and the leadership of this church in particular was that there was, quote, immorality, hypocrisy among the leadership. With that in mind, it's a little astounding to learn that he met her when she was 14 as a member of the youth group, like the youth program there, and he was married.
That's when my mouth dropped open. He's met her when she was 14. She was a member of the church when she was a teenager, and he was a grown-ass married man with children. And he later married her. B. Hunt. Yes, friend, grooming. He was grooming her. I was not expecting the story to take this turn. This one, I was like, oh, this is, I mean, it's bad enough, the stuff we've covered. But then when you get the history of it, and we ain't done. They not done spilling the tea. They not done. Let them continue.
With, I think, 5 kids. So was there did he have an affair with Mike?
And I kind of cut that part off. With 5 kids. He was married with 5 kids when she was 14 years old.
And leave his wife and children to be with her. And if that's the case, how old was she when he did that?
So I remember a specific conversation that I had with him when that was brought up, and it was because I'd heard about that. Like there were rumors, going around that their relationship even started, and infidelity and things like that. And in my conversation with him, he did basically confirm that. He did not get into her age. What he said to me point blank was that she was in my youth group. We became friends. Over time, it became kind of something more. And that was probably the gist of it as far as I can remember now. I mean, it's been years ago, but it was a little concerning. And there were other members of the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were other members.
That's very concerning, right?
Oh, very, yes. And there were other members of the church, though, that when I asked about it, that it was just kind of, it's something that kind of just everybody knew and accepted. And
let me ask you this, because you might give it a pass once, and maybe not. I mean, I wouldn't, but okay, some people might. They might get over it. But as I understand it, he's married. He has children. He meets a 14-year-old, eventually gets married to that older 14-year-old in her early 20s. And, I don't know, Alicia, if you can add to this, but he then allegedly begins another affair with a church member who has a husband who uses a wheelchair.
He then, after grooming her, and I saw y'all saying, now y'all still, because again, I don't know the story like that yet. I forgot whose comment I think I started, but somebody said that yes, Mica was his babysitter of his children with his wife, and that's basically when he started grooming her. Then she got old enough, well, he was grooming her and doing whatever. Then when she got old enough, he then married her, divorced his wife and married her. But then once he finally got her, because this is what a cheater will do. This is why y'all don't be cheating with somebody, think you're going to take somebody else's man, a woman, and cheat, or they, whatever y'all want to call it, and cheat with them and think that once they get enough of you, they ain't going to cheat on you later. That's not going to be your story. Don't ever fool yourself. So he later then cheats on Mica with a person from the congregation who's married to a man who is wheelchair bound. But that ain't the end of the story. That is not the end of the story. This rabbit hole is deep. That's why I don't feel like John Paul finna walk away scot-free.
Who has a husband who uses a wheelchair who mysteriously ended up dead and drowned in a pool. Is that accurate?
Yes.
My jaw dropped again, y'all. My jaw dropped again. He marries Mica. He then starts cheating on her with a person in the congregation. The person in the congregation is also married. They're married to a person who's in a wheelchair. The person in the wheelchair mysteriously drowns in a pool. I ain't never seen no person swimming with a wheelchair in the pool. No. I know they can put people in the pool. So what, did this person accidentally roll themselves into a pool? Strapped in? Upside down in the bottom of the pool? I'm interested in that. And how much insurance? I want to know the age of the person. I want to know how much money they had in insurance. I've seen y'all mentioning too that he might have tried to take, well, not tried. He might have wanted Mica to be taken out so that he could get insurance money. But y'all said it's around 100,000 or less or something. To some people, that's a lot of money. This rabbit hole is deep.
That's what we've been told by people who have reached out. We've spoken to former church members. We've spoken to current church members, and people, and also family. It's kind of common knowledge, and that's kind of why it's.
And for those people like say, black people so messy, black people this, and black people can't get along, black people just be exposing all they dirt. Those be the people that don't pay attention to these kind of stories. They act just like we do. Everybody. It ain't no racial thing. Everybody messy. Who that? Yeah. Southern Bells, this messy. Everybody messy. And that's what we here for. I mean, I don't want nobody losing their life for us to have some mess, but if it comes with the territory, oh well, I can't do nothing about it. Everybody messy.
The head scratcher, and because it's like, if it's common knowledge, why hasn't something been said? But basically, what we've been told by people, Ashley, is that that he groomed her from a young age, and married her when he was able to, and but I will say that,
LaTanya, you're I would not look at it the same way. Would you saying he was afraid of what would happen to the church congregation if they got divorced? Keep in mind, friend, this wasn't his first divorce. He had already got divorced from his wife with the 5 children. I don't think it would have been that much of an impact for him to divorce the underage girl he groomed. Well, the woman who was an underage girl that he groomed and then married when she became of legal age. I don't think that if they wasn't upset enough to leave from his first divorce, cheating on the wife with the babysitter, grooming her, and he got 5 kids, and then later cheating on Mica with somebody in the congregation whose husband mysteriously, who's in a wheelchair, ends up at the bottom of a pool. If they hadn't left then, I don't think they was leaving over this divorce. I don't think so, friend. I don't think so.
When I met them, on the surface, at least at that point in time, it seemed like a fairly healthy marriage. She didn't seem like.
Can I ask? Can I ask this, Alicia? I guess that the essential question here, Alicia, is: do you believe that it is at all possible that your friend Mica took her own life, or do you suspect that her pastor estranged husband is at fault here?
I absolutely do not believe that she took her own life, because she was energetic and her faith in God was unwavering. And she was always quick to encourage somebody else, including myself. We went to lunches together. We worked out together. Just the things that I do know about John Paul, I truly do not believe that she took her own life. I do not.
Another person in their life saying, I don't believe that she didn't take her life. She was looking forward to finally being done with that predator in her life who had groomed her from an impressionable age. She had finally matured into a woman who could really understand what was happening, and she was trying to get out of it. Poll question, we closing out. I did not expect this story to be this long. I knew it was long, but I don't know. I guess I wasn't thinking. Do you believe these friends of Mica? Do you believe their version of the story? Or do you think let me say, 92% of y'all say y'all believe me. 8% of y'all, some of y'all finger slip. The rest of y'all like, no, they just don't know how to grieve properly. When people go through their stages of grief, one of them is blame. They trying to blame him. It's not true. It didn't happen. They just don't know. They just don't want to let go. They just don't want to accept who she really was. Okay. We don't forget all the breadcrumbs we didn't have that I done led you all the way to where we going. Okay. We're all entitled to our own opinions. We're all entitled to our own opinions. As delusional as some bit. No, let me stop. Next poll question, and we're wrapping this up. We're at the end. Here's I was gonna say here's the nail in the coffin, but that's a little grim for this story. Can't really say that. That's tasteless. But here's the finale. Well, not really, because I don't think we're done with the finale. Here's the next act. I don't think that's the finale. I don't think this is the finale. I think we're going to hear more about this story. I don't think this is over. Do you believe that Mica took her own life without foul play? So I kind of gave it away putting the poll question out too quick. So there is now information out that Mica, well, we talked about it as well, but there's now a receipt that Mica did in fact take her own life. And how do we know this? because they are saying that Mica herself called 911 from the forest preserve she was at and instructed them that she was about to take her life, and she just wanted them to know exactly what she was for her, so her family could find her body. There's, excuse me, y'all. There's an audio recording of it, and here it is. Oh, I forgot to give a trigger warning in the beginning of this. I'm sorry. Yeah, this may be a little much for some of y'all. So viewer discretion, trigger warning, etc., etc. I meant to do that at the beginning of the story. How the hell I forget that? Wasn't that up here? Did I have that in my notes? I don't know. Let me play this while I look. Sorry, y'all. I can give a disclaimer.
And what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
At National Park.
What's the phone number you're calling me from?
843-655-5242.
Where's the park located at?
In Bear Bluff.
Let's see.
I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on. I just did my my location.
Okay, I'm showing, hold on one second. I don't think you are in Robeson County. Are you at the Lumbee River State Park?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Tell me what's happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Okay, ma'am. Just listen to what I'm saying, okay? Let me make sure I got the exact location where you're at, okay? Just 1 minute.
So that's where it ends. I don't know what happens after that. Again, I did preliminary research today. We were kind of rushing, you know. I did not realize when I ran into it this morning, because even the video I saw on it was literally just talking about the pastor, what the pastor said, and they didn't even have a clip of that. And that was, I think they played a clip of the news, I think. Yeah. But it was like, they didn't get into none of this. And so this was a shock. I didn't know the story was so deep. We're an hour and a half in. Whoa. So I didn't know about the 911 call until I literally got done with my research. And then I think it was Marianne or somebody on one of our, I know Marianne sent me the clip. And I think Marianne and somebody else in our Patreon executive people, they be helping me with stories too. So one of them told me about the 911, and Marianne sent this clip that you just heard to me. I didn't know about it. I just had researched that. All the rest of it we did. And I was just like, this just don't sound right. I know what they saying, but it don't sound right. Then the 911 called, and I'm like, I hear y'all. I hear it. And one of my questions was, is this her voice? But I'm assuming her family knows that's her voice. Then I'm thinking like, somebody holding a gun to her head to say, you do this Or I saw even y'all saying in the comment, did he just drive her that insane to do that in that moment? Did she feel like there was no way of escape? What did she say? Because this 911 call clearly got cut off, and it don't sound like she cut it off. Seem like that's as much of the clip as they're releasing to the public, in my opinion. Is there more to this tape? Does she explain? Because she says, I want my family to know where I'm at. So she's clearly concerned for her family. But she's so concerned that she wants to call the police just to make sure that when I don't know, even that sounds a little odd though when you think about it. I don't know though. This is all speculation. I'm just thinking out loud. But if you have given up to the point that you just like, take me out, I don't care, I don't want to live no more, would you be concerned with your family being able to find your body right away? Would you go through you calling 911, you saying, can you track my phone? I don't know. It's so odd. It's so convoluted. But it's clear that this woman's life was already in danger before she allegedly took her own life. It's just it's too many unanswered questions. It's just don't feel right. Something ain't right. So just the bullets of what we've gone through, and I feel like I don't think this is over. I do not think this is over for us even covering it. We know that the pastor, aka her husband, had been grooming her since she was 14 years old. Y'all just let me know this evening. She was the family babysitter of his 5 children. She later became their stepmother. That's creepy as hell. We know that the pastor was previously married with 5 children before he started cheating on his ex-wife with the underage Mica. We know that once Mica became of legal age, he married her. We know that after he married her, he then started cheating on her at some point. Well, and that's probably the one we're hearing about. But he was cheating on her. At least one of them included a church member who had a husband who was wheelchair bound, who ends up mysteriously drowning in their pool. Then we know that Mica has experienced many abuses and traumas. She says it herself in the video we heard. But the one that we have of note, documented, that we went over today, is that Mica had filed multiple police reports on the same day, March 11th, and had been hunted down on that day. Trackers put on her car, tires slashed, followed by whoever was in that white Honda. Send a police report. We just don't know for sure. And then we know that mysteriously, all of a sudden on April 27th, she decides to go to a forest preserve an hour away, calls 911, calmly talking to him, says that, yeah, do you have my location? Are you able to track it? I don't really know where I'm at. The operator trying to figure it all out. She calm and patient. She ain't crying. She ain't not emotional about it. Not the operator. I'm talking about Mica. Mica's not crying. She don't seem emotional. Very calm. Then she said, well, because I want my family to know I'm about to take myself out, and I want my family to know where my body at. What? And then she just gone. And then everybody around her who have talked to her hours leading up to that's like, no, she was talking about doing salon appointments. She's making plans to start a school in Africa. She's very, very passionate about that. Man, she's gonna take a life. And then the husband gets on the stage the next day. Yeah, she took a life. Y'all know she was crazy. Y'all know she had all these mental health issues from me driving her crazy. Y'all know she had all these mental health issues. I'm sorry. Y'all know she had all these she had all these mental health issues, and we couldn't get the medicine up to her. Something ain't right. Then then she also, before she took her own life, told her, did they say her sister told somebody, if I end up with a a bullet in my head. John Paul did it. Sound like they said she had did they say? I feel like I read that she had that it was a wound to the head. I feel like probably because that's the threat he's been giving her since she was 14 years of age or whenever he married her and really fully, took that abuse to the next level. I'll put a bullet in your head if you keep on. You know I own you. It's either you be with me or you get a bullet to the head. All that. So she finally, in her last season of her life, if something happened to me, he put a bullet to my head. If a bullet ended up to my head, he did it. Because he keeps saying that. Right, Mr. and Mrs. Peoples. Prejudice, messiness is not prejudice. Right. It's humans who are. Okay, we're gonna do a couple of the. Oh, Jesus, that story tied me out. It's a good story, but Lord Jesus, that just woke me out. We're an hour and 35 minutes in. Okay, I can definitely get through the next one. I can definitely do the next one. Okay. Poll question we're closing out. Do you believe that Mica took her life without foul play being involved? 94% of you don't think so. I don't think so either. I don't know how, because this is creative in the sense of whoever did this covering their tracks. And do I believe that now we're gonna find out, hopefully they'll be able to solve this. Do I believe that John Paul pulled the trigger? No, but do I believe that he orchestrated it? Absolutely. In my opinion, I believe he orchestrated this. And so does the whole congregation. Except for that one pastor friend he got who told the news, I don't think he did it. And they like, well, do you have any proof? I ain't got no proof, but I just sound like that just sound crazy. I couldn't accept him doing something like that. That don't mean he didn't do it just because you can't accept it. He got his alibi together. Exactly. He was an hour away. Sounds like psychological warfare to drive a person crazy. Yeah, because that's what we know about. What stories don't we know about? What story? That was March 11th that we read about. What happened in between March 11th and April 27th? Where those stories at? Insurance is not the only reason to off someone. Could be mental illness or him trying to rebuild a new life. Yeah. I mean, hell, she was going to Africa. How much further away do you want her? Well, clearly we know how far away he wanted her, like off the land of the living. So self-induced before you get the autopsy report. Sounds like he hired someone, who does their own dirty work when they are a pastor. Yeah. He's quick to just close and dismiss it. Yeah, she is self-induced. Yeah. Let's go with that. I say life insurance policy is an issue. Maybe another lover as well. Yep. Well, we know. Well, I don't know if the person he was cheating with who had the husband in a wheelchair, I don't know if they were still together or not, but we do know that there was at least one situation. Like her mental health was to blame, he is setting up a motive for himself as the victim. Yeah. And also to keep the attention off of himself. Exactly. If she offed herself, he had to belittle that woman to the point that she couldn't take it anymore. He don't seem that broken to me. Yeah. It's just, even though, like, and I'm agreeing with you, but she was so calm in that 911 call. Like she was talking to the light company or something. Do you have my address? Can you ping my location? Quiet when the ladies just doing stuff. You don't hear no whimpering. Then she said, "Oh, I just want to let y'all know where I just want my I'm about to take myself out, and I just want my family to be able to find my body." What? Calm, all of it, not crying. There's no realization. Like, you love your family that much. I'm just wondering whether people around her, somebody there, making her say it that way. I don't know. But then when she be emotional, but I don't know. It's odd. I hope we get the answer. I hope we get the real answer. True, he basically said she was crazy and wasn't taking her med. Yep, that's how he, yep, in summary. And told them, get on out of here. Don't ask no questions about it. Keep your mouth quiet. He hired a hitman, will tell when he thinks he's next. Don't think he not going to get the whole payoff. We'll see. Sometimes that's what happens when you involve other people in your crimes. They end up telling on you. They have to flip on you at a certain point. And if it's life insurance policy, it's some small amount under 150K. And that's sad. Don't unalive me. Just leave me, please. Yeah. And again, she was going to Africa. She wasn't trying to stay here. A pastor cheating. What a surprise. Not really, though. Yeah. I don't want to seem like I got it out for pastors, but also I live in reality. They're human. They're men and women. They're human just like us. All right, we're going to move on to the next story. I'm pushed through. We're going to see. Because this is a long. Well, this story was long, but the rest are kind of short. We might make it. I might make it. I might make it. Say push through Veil in the chat if you want me to push through. Push through Veil in the chat if you want me to push through. If you hate watching and you don't like me, no way, just be like, get on off of here. We don't like you, no way. Next poll question coming out. Did you hear the story of the Pennsylvania pastor who, oh, I gotta change the thumbnail. Uh-oh, come on now. Poll question that's going out. Did you hear the story of the Pennsylvania pastor who has a gun pulled on him during the sermon? During a sermon. Hold on, I got to silence my phone. Y'all going to keep hearing pinging. There we go. I think it's dead. So a gunman tried to shoot a pastor at a church in Pennsylvania over the weekend, and a dead body was later discovered in his home, authorities said. Glenn German was delivering his service at Jesus Dwelling Place Church in North Braddock on Sunday, May 5th, when the suspected armed man, who was identified by police as Bernard Jr. Polite, age 26, allegedly attempted to pow him. But unfortunately, or fortunately, his gun failed to discharge. Let's watch this.
Sunday at church turned into chaos for a group of parishioners as a gunman walked up to the front pew and tried to fire his weapon directly at the pastor.
Oh, Lord. I did that by accident. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Pull it back in. I was trying to clear my video so I could add new ones and accidentally delete the one we were watching. Oh, here it is.
About a close call. What was supposed to be a quiet Sunday at church turned into chaos for a group of parishioners as a gunman walked up to the front pew and tried to fire his weapon directly at the pastor. We should warn our viewers, some might find these images disturbing. A Sunday afternoon church service dramatically interrupted.
And God had chose.
The terrifying incident at Jesus' Dwelling Place Church in North Braddock, Pennsylvania, unfolding on a live stream, showing a gunman identified by police as 26-year-old Bernard Jr. Polite approached Pastor Glenn Germany and attempted to shoot, but the gun didn't go off.
It clicked. You heard him shoot it. It clicked. So God jammed the gun so that the bullet didn't come out.
The deacon, sitting just feet away, leapt into action.
The man had his back turned towards me, and I could see he would never see me coming.
Both men wrestling the weapon from the gunman's hands. In the church at the time, 25 congregation members, including the pastor's daughter.
He stood up and he smiled at me, and it was just a smile.
the pastor actually speaking with the gunman.
He said, look, spirits was in my mind. He said that they got in my mind and they told me come in and shoot the pastor. He actually apologized to me. I told him that I forgive you and I want you to know I love you.
What could have been a devastating tragedy at this small community church, now considered a small miracle.
God had his hands on the pastor. He wasn't letting him go nowhere.
No question. No question.
That is deep, very deep. So the alleged gunman was then held until the authorities arrived, according to police. He is currently charged with criminal attempt, criminal homicide, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment of another person, per the court records. Polite had bail denied and is currently being held at the Anaheim County Jail. He has a preliminary hearing scheduled for later this month, and it is not immediately clear if he had legal representation. And then, according to the criminal complaint, Polite told authorities that he tried to shoot German because God told him to do it. He also, well, obviously not, because God jammed that phone, that weapon. He also said he wanted to go to jail to clear his mind, the outlet reported. After Polite's arrest, police discovered the body of a man who was shot. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I'm reading words I shouldn't be reading. Who was piled and unalived in his home. So in Polite's home, there was a body there, a person. The medical examiner identified the man as Derek Polite, so it's somebody who shares his last name, 56, age 56, on Monday, May 6th. So far, no charges have been filed in connection with the body that has been discovered. And they also said they don't have the relation of the person. They haven't identified that either. So we don't know if that's just a relative, like a random relative or father or uncle, brother or something. We don't know. Well, that information might be out now, but at least from what I saw. Poll question, we're closing out. Did you hear the story of this? Did you hear the story? 65% of you did hear this story. 36% of you had not heard this story. It's another story. It was kind of viral today that I found. Next poll question going out is, do you think that churches should have armed security? We've been seeing a lot of this sort of thing. We've had mass shootings in churches. We've had Bishop Whitehead's fake robbery. I might need to cover that fool too. I do need to give a couple updates. But yeah, thank God that pastor survived that. The trauma, though. Oh my God, the trauma. And I remember when I went to church, I went to my childhood church. I went to like a neighborhood church, and we would have people just walk up in there. They would be, sometimes unhoused people, sometimes people with mental illnesses. And although my uncles and my father and them, they always be puffed up, just like watching them, like, better not do nothing crazy. But we were never worried about nobody coming up in there and pow-powing the place. We were just thinking, oh, it might be some humbugging if it has to come to that. I think one time it did, didn't it? I feel like one time it did. Or was that my uncles jumping on my older uncles jumping on my younger uncle? That happened too in church. I'll tell the Patreon people that one. Did I tell y'all this story? I don't think I did. Poll question, we're closing out. Do you think, and I ain't the only one, don't judge me. Y'all know y'all done had some family members fighting up in the church. That's how we show love. Do you think no, Bill, no! Got the pews falling over. No, Bill, get over here. Do you think that churches should have armed security? 83% of you do say yes. 17% of you say no. I don't know. I don't like people being like sitting ducks. And I feel like at this point, Not that, yes, God will protect us and all that, but unfortunately, God ain't gonna jam every pow, every firearm that come in that church or in a church. He did that time. So I feel like God also gives us ability, and he gives us the tools needed to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Firearms are part of that, that tool chest that he gives us. Take it to church. Okay, moving on to our next story, because we want to keep this moving along, because yeah, we might be taking a day off tomorrow. We'll see. Next poll question coming out. Did you hear about the Oklahoma City bus driver who was attacked while driving? Oh my God, now somebody alarm. Hopefully, I don't think y'all can hear it. But somebody car alarm going off and it's bothering me. There's a shocking video footage that captures the moment of an out-of-control passenger who brawls with the driver of a moving bus in Oklahoma City. The wild clip captures Tyrone Harris welling away at the driver Wednesday as the bus traveled near Western Avenue and West Britain Road on Saturday, April the 20th, with the two men getting into a drag-out scuffle even as the bus kept speeding down the road. The driver, who was not identified, told Harris he could not stop where he wanted, prompting the irate passenger to lunge and pull him from the driver compartment. A passenger intervenes and pulls Harris away from the driver, only to have the bus slam into a storefront. Oh, I got to pull that one in. I can only have so many videos in at a time, only 10. So when it's over that, I got to clear of some to get the other ones in. Here we go. There you go. There's no sound, really. Yeah, there's no sound. But this dude, because the bus driver would not stop in between stops. Now, we all know that the bus drivers can't be stopping any and everywhere. They got places they have to stop. I'm going to play it again for y'all. They have stops, rather, designated stops for safety and otherwise. This little monster, tweakhead, got mad at the bus driver because he wouldn't jeopardize his job stopping in unsafe places, and wails on him because of that while the bus is moving. You're obviously crazy. You need to be off the streets. You see the cars driving, and it look like they on like a busy street. This is a busy road, obviously. Then you see the other passenger come. They on the sidewalk, you could tell. Boom. Right into a building. Crazy. Crazy. The only the seatbelt saved the driver from flying through the windshield, they're saying. The suspect asked to be let off at the intersection of Brighton and Western. The police said when the bus driver told him that he couldn't do that, that's what we saw, that incident there. Harris, who is 23, pictured on your screen, ran from the scene but was picked up by cops nearby and arrested. They said, obviously, the driver had some bumps and bruises. The city director of public transportation and parking department, that was their report saying that the driver obviously had some bumps and bruises. And they said, we got him to a medical facility right after this, and he's off work for now, but doing well. He was quoted as saying, when you run into a situation like that, no matter how much training you have, it's very difficult to prepare somebody really assaulting you while you're operating a vehicle in motion. I mean, what else could he have done? And thank God it wasn't worse. Thank God it didn't hit other cars. And thank God that it, you know, the bus wasn't going even faster and, you know, permanently harm somebody. Craziness. This is the world we in. And these public, I mean, some of y'all are public transportation workers. Y'all at this point, it's like y'all putting y'all lives at jeopardy to go to work. That's crazy. Y'all shouldn't be in the same category with casualties and risk as police officers. And I feel like that's what it's like at this point for people who work in public transportation. It's crazy. And I know people who worked in transportation, public transportation, who still work there. And some of the stories, Jesus. Poll question, we're closing out. Did you hear about this story? 19% of you said yes. 81% of you had never heard about this story. There's also one in Chicago as well, but that driver got the best of the dude. There was also another. I'll find them for y'all. We'll watch them. The only thing that YouTube like to demonetize my videos when I be playing these sort of things for y'all. So I'll probably have to find a live where we do that, and just know that y'all gonna have to like the hell out of the video to support it, because they ain't gonna monetize it. But there was one where the bus drivers, both of these that I'm thinking of was in Chicago. One was very similar to this. The bus driver stopped the bus, locked the guys in the bus, and started tearing them up. And then another, and that just happened like a week or two ago. Then there was another where the bus driver actually body slammed this guy. I think he's tried to fight the driver. They end up outside of the bus, and the driver's like, come on, come on, come on. And it was like some skinny, you know, tweak head like this dude, and picked him up, boom, right into the street. And I think the guy got paralyzed or something. So they was, of course, suing the Chicago's, we call it the CTA, Chicago Transit Authority. Craziness. I don't think you should get to sue nobody when you sitting there causing chaos, and then you get what's due to you. All right, 2 more stories, y'all. I can make it. Put it in the chat. Push through. Okay, close that one out. Next poll question, because this is a story I originally had taken out of the live, and I started to keep it out. Then I brought it back, feeling like the live was going to be too short. Might as well get it done. It's here. We did all the work. Let's pull it in. Have you heard? Oh, I also got to put the thumbnail up. Have you heard that Rickey Smiley got involved in the Brian McKnight situation with his sons? Did you hear? Brian McKnight's son, Nico, isn't standing for, Rickey Smiley got involved, and then Tyrese has something to say about Rickey Smiley getting involved. And then Nico, who is right here, who is Brian McKnight's son, has something to say to Tyrese. Like, shut it up. So here's the original video that sparked all of this, which was, this is all off the heels for those of you who may not be up to date on the story. This is off the heels of Brian McKnight not only disowning his older children and a daughter, it's a daughter too, not only disowning, and she was a daughter outside of their marriage, if I'm not mistaken, but not only disowning his sons from his marriage, but then also the daughter who he had outside of his marriage during the marriage. He not only did that, but he also called them evil, that they were born out of evil, in a live. Here's, I got to pull it in too. Hold on. Here's a clip of Brian McKnight saying what he said.
So lastly this week, I want to big up my man right here. See, he gets it. In order to live a life that you love, you have to get rid of the evil and the negativity, even if that evil and negativity is related. We want everyone to live a life that you love. Our hashtag, that's what it means. Hashtag I love our life. But in order to do that, you have to get rid of all that evil and negativity. There's so many angry and upset and negative people out there. We want to use our platform as a place of positivity, a positivity platform. So hopefully, I mean, who knows, next week, maybe I'll only respond to positive comments. But we'll see. We'll see you next week.
Good morning. So Brian McKnight and his little toxic ass is putting out the narrative that he has a positive platform, one where he drags his family, but then portrays it like, well, I'm only dragging them and disowning them because of what they've done. They created this. I'm the good guy. Although all these other people who know me personally outside of my family also say I'm toxic, except for Tyrese, who also has his own dirt and people saying how toxic he is. He the only one agreeing with me. But the family is toxic. So Brian McKnight recreating the narrative. Rickey Smiley then jumps in and he does this live video to say, hey, to Tyrese, not to Brian McKnight's sons and his daughter, we got y'all. It's horrible that your father would do this to y'all. But if you need a man or men in your life who can love on you, who can actually stand up and be real men, we got you. Because we know how toxic your fucking father is too, because we talk about it in the industry. It's not lost on us that this ain't your fault. So here's Rickey Smiley's video. It's a couple minutes.
We're going live. We're going live this morning. We just got off the air and we had a real conversation. Gary did the tea in the Kahlua today and was talking about the whole Brian McKnight situation and his kids. Whatever. When I read that and I saw that and I saw it on Dr. Rashid Ritchie's show, he really put it in the proper context or whatever. When I saw that, I was absolutely stunned and horrified by watching that. I just want to say to Brian McKnight kids, to all of his kids, the ones that he said that's born out of evil or born in evil, whatever he said, whatever he claims, or whatever, let you know that you have a lot of support out here. We here at the Rickey Smiley Morning Show support you. If anybody get this message out to Brian McKnight, 2 sons and daughter, you are always welcome to the state of Alabama, to the great state of Alabama, where you have men and you have uncles and you have a lot of people in Birmingham that take on kids that have been abandoned by fathers. I've seen a lot of it, even with watching Little League football coaches that spend their own time, money, and resources into trying to make sure that the kids have everything they need. But I know that y'all are older. But if y'all ever feel any kind of way, or you feel unloved and need male figure, father figure, there's people out here like myself, and I know I can vouch for my brother from another mother, Ben Crump and others. We would be more than happy to have you. You are not thrown away. You are not garbage. You are loved. You are to be respected. And there's a lot of group of men out here waiting to stand with you and make sure you have everything that you need. We are not here to try to replace your father, which that can't be done, but we can be something to you. To just make sure you go on into your adulthood and live your life and get you the help and therapy that you need so that you can move on, because words hurt and stuff like this hurt a lot when, when things like this are said. It's a bell that cannot be unrung. So if anybody know Brian McKnight kids, sons and daughter, we really celebrate dads where I live, and in my household, we had over years and years and years have raised kids that don't have a dad, or dad got killed, or just, hey, I don't want to be a dad, or whatever. That's what we do. We are some of the best father figures and uncles and anything you need. So just to let y'all know, just put that out there. I'm not here to, we already tackled that part, talking about what he did, but I don't want to do that, talk about that and offering something to them in the same video. So we just want to say to the kids, stay prayed up, stay close to God, and understand that God is your real daddy. He's all of our real daddy. He's our daddy's daddy and our granddaddy's real daddy. We serve an awesome God that will see you through anything, and that will see that that you will supply all your needs. He's a heart fixer, and he's a mind regulator. And I know he's a mind regulator because it's been days where I feel like I was going crazy, and he get my mind right back on track. So just continue to love God and continue to trust God and lean on him for everything that you don't understand. And don't even try to understand. Just lean on him, get therapy, and just try to make sure that when you have your kids, that you are the total opposite of what you have experienced. That's the thing about me. I growing up, what up, Gwen? Good morning. I love you. Tell Sean I said, what's up? One thing that I've learned, not having a father, I know how it feels not to have a father, but I also understand what having a grandfather who stepped up and an uncle and uncles and coaches, what it meant to me. And it didn't replace, but man, it gave me a level of restoration that's unreal. So anybody know Brian McKnight kids or where they live, get in touch with my management group and or anybody on my morning show. We would be more than happy to have y'all, to love on y'all, to let you know that there are men out there that would appreciate having kids like y'all. And then let me say this right here. I know it's a lot of sides to a lot of stories, but understand this right here. There's no perfect father. There's no perfect relationship between father and kids, and nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. I've made mistakes as a dad. I'm not up here pounding my chest like I've been the perfect dad. I did the best I could, and it was a learning experience because being a dad did not come with a handbook. It did not. I had to learn a lot of stuff, and time and patience and prayer and experience. So if y'all ever want to hang out.
Sorry, I never listened to this. I just recorded it for y'all. Transparent moment. I listened to I knew what it was about because people kind of pointed me in this direction, but I'm not trying to have y'all have to, but I got it. The clips are tied together. So I was hoping to just listen to it and get to the end, but it looks like it's just going to go on forever and ever and ever. So with this, I'm trying not to pass, wasn't he? Okay, he really kept going. I'm glad I did. Y'all like, Phil, I wanted to hear the whole thing. It's on social media. It ain't on this channel. It's on social media. Okay, I think that's good enough. So under this post where Rickey Smiley did this, Brian McKnight's ex-wife, Julie, who we saw her video, was that yesterday or the day before? I forgot. Well, we saw her video maybe earlier this week. They both liked the post, and Brian Jr. added, I really appreciate this, man. All we can do is pray for that man now, as in pray for that man, as in my old trifling ass daddy. All we can do is pray for that man now. That man. Trust me, I've been there. I already know. I know. Oh, it ain't time to put that up yet. All right. So then Tyrese Gibson, he got in the mix. He loved to stir something up that's old toxic. He remind me of Darius Crooks too. He like to promote predators and stuff. But anyway, Tyrese takes to his social media and he puts this up. This is courtesy of the Shade Room because I didn't see the original live. Here's a little long-winded too, but we're going to try to hang in there.
Peace.
I want to address is I want to talk to my brother Rickey Smiley, and I want to say to you that it is unfair, in my grown man opinion, to say that that man and his ex-wife and the mother of his kids, which are now grown adults past 30 years old, whatever their specific dynamic is, there's a bunch of things that have been said and done over the years that is nobody's business that has contributed to where they are. This is not fair to say, well, they my kids, or they grown, they adults, and so I ain't gonna ever turn my back on my kids. I ain't gonna ever not provide or be there. But man, kids out here be saying some fucked up, bruh. Kids out here be crossing you and doing and saying and going above and beyond to cross you. I do not know what that man and that woman or his kids or anything about anything. Like, I literally know Brian.
What do you want from me? When I saw, I just had to do it. Okay, we're done with Tyrese. He rambles and then says a bunch of nothing. Tyrese, and you see how long it is. I'm sorry, y'all. I told y'all I'm still pushing through. So I'm not gonna torture us for the rest of that. Anyway, bye Tyrese. Bye Tyrese. So Tyrese does his rant. He's just basically saying, I understand this because I got kids and you know my kids take me there and you know I know because they this and they this. And then he talk about how good of a man that Brian McKnight is, and he don't really know the details of what his relationship has been like and all of that because he ain't never asked them sort of question. So you ain't that close to him is what you're saying. You just saying because he was there for you at times, that mean all this other toxic ish that we've literally seen him do needs to be forgiven and forgot about and ignored and say, well, he doing it because they deserve it. Girl, get on out of here. Go and cry somewhere. So Nico, Brian McKnight's son, had something to say to Tyrese after he posted that. Said, Tyrese used to sleep under our pool table when I was a kid. He went in. First sentence. Girl, I'm gonna tell all your tea. Tyrese used to sleep under our pool table when I was a kid. I know the 90s R&B brotherhood blood is thicker than anything, but you should sit this one out, champ. He went in. You have a relationship to fix with your own children and your own past decisions you've made on behalf of pussy and power. Nico, tell us how you really feel, friend. The allegiance to those two things is what keeps you guys from seeing that the only thing that matters in the end is family. Hey, man, you preaching now. Real men can see past the bull-ish. Try not to keep cursing too much. Let's stop, though. This 46-hour chemo infusion has me ready to fade Jody. That's not right. Peace and prosperity. So this is Brian McKnight's son, who is currently going through chemo. We praying for his complete healing. Like, Tyrese, I ain't here to play with you. I am in a situation where I truly understand what life is about, and I see life from a different lens. As someone who is surviving cancer, and I ain't with your shit. So I'm going to say it with my full chest. He also posted this. I ain't make this. Nico posted this. Tyrese. I ain't mad at you, Nico. Stay out of my business, especially when somebody didn't abuse me, abuse my mama, abuse my brother, abuse my sister, just a horrible, toxic ass person, and then you want to come in here capping for him. Get your ass, sit down somewhere. and fix your own life. I'm with you, Nico. I had an article here. I don't even know. I'm reading all that. So let me close out this poll question. Have you heard that Rickey Smiley got involved in the Brian McKnight situation? 59% of you had heard. 41% of you had not heard. Now you're informed. That's what we're here for. Poll question we're putting out. Last one for this story. Oh, where's it? Oh, it's 11 p.m. Yeah, I'm gonna push this next story. It ain't a big one. It's viral stuff. Was that it? Let me see. Make sure. Yeah. Okay. We're not gonna do that one. It's a long count too. Have you seen pictures of Brian McKnight's new purchased family? Have you seen them? Do you know what they look like? This is the family he worked hard to be able to earn and pay for. Because if he had no money, he wouldn't be able to afford this family, is what I'm telling y'all. Some of y'all already know that. This family paid for. This here is his purchased daughter, Julie McPhee. This is her when she was graduating. This is also around the time that I think I had these same pictures in the story I did on him maybe a year or two ago. It's about at least a year or two ago. But this was her during her graduation. He also, not only did he purchase her as his new daughter, but he also purchased his new daughter a Mercedes-Benz car. And then made some subliminal post about, you guys are my favorite. You're so great. I'm so blessed to finally have good children. Something crazy. I ain't had a post there. I ain't dig off all that. It was nasty. It was like, it's that petty stuff. Like, you're not really celebrating her because you did what you did for her. I'm pointing the wrong way. I'm so tired of pointing the wrong way, y'all. You did what you did for her because you was trying to get back at me. It wasn't like you really did it for her. You did it to get back at me. It was one of those kind of them posts. Then here is her his purchased new son, Jack McPhee. Jack McPhee, I guess, also graduating from something. He has said some great things about Jack in those IG posts. Again, he was just being petty, landed on thick. You are an amazing son. You are brilliant. You are everything that I always wanted in a son. Every moment you make me smile. There's just knowing of your existence makes me the proudest man in the world. It is so great to be able to have someone like you to you make me a better man. All that. It's just some BS. Then this is his completed. They came as a package deal. He purchased them all together. The mama, the two older kids, and then he put an oven in the a bun in the oven, and that's his. That was when she was still pregnant, and now he has Brian. What is that? Kuena Makua Jr. Jr. because they said, now this part I didn't know. I must have missed out on this. They said Brian McKnight changed his last name. Changed his name so that his son would be a junior. So his new son would be a junior. When I thought, and I could be wrong, but this is how I was understanding it when I heard it like yesterday or the day before. People were saying Brian McKnight changed his name, his legal name to that, so that his new son would be a junior. Not that his new son got the Brian McKnight name, because his older son already got that. So he changed his name. They saying that Brian McKnight changed his name so that Brian McKnight Jr. is no longer a junior because his daddy ain't named Brian McKnight no more. Like, what? That's deep. That's deep. That's real deep. See what y'all got to say about this one. Do I have a poll question still in here? Let me see. What's up? Not poll question. Oh, yeah. Let me close out this poll question. Have you seen a pic of Brian McKnight's new family? 63% of you had seen them. 37% of you had not. Now you have. This is, yeah. Nicole was saying, why he leaning towards the side, hoping we see his Rolls Royce initials. I noticed that too. The way he was leaning was like making sure on the headrest you could see the R. I noticed that too. Bishop Whitehead does that same thing. Brian had a baby on his wife, and she helped raise that same child. Yeah, the daughter. Yes, but she's the evil one. She's the one with the problems. Words hurt, and some mean words can never be forgotten. Yeah, I think when Rickey Smiley said, you can't unring that bell. I think it was a perfect analogy. When you hit a bell, boom, you can't make that sound reverse. You can't unring that bell. It's been rung. That's something you can never reverse. I think that's a perfect way to put that. Right. Nasty work. Brian hates his other kid's mother, so he hates his other kids as well. Yeah. And it seems like, even from her conversation, it's like he hates her because she removed herself from the toxicity. She's like, okay, I'm done. Like, you go your way, I'm gonna go mine. And he like, no, I need somewhere to cause hell. Straight from the movie Get Out. Yeah, right. His mama named him Cassius, so I'm gonna call him Cassius. Is that Brian McKnight's legal? Was that his birth name? So did he change his name to Brian McKnight? That I never knew. I never really looked into him. I guess I may do a bio. I mean, he's a case study for sure. He is so not who I thought he was. Again, it makes it hard to listen to his music the same way. Like I have to tune out because I'll hear his music. And I don't know, you kind of envision the person you're hearing singing being in love or whatever they're expressing in the song. You kind of feel like they're attached to that feeling or emotions, but knowing how horrible of a human being he's turned out to be, I can't do that anymore. So then it makes it hard to listen to the music, but then I still love it. Like these are songs that are near and dear. So then I have to like do this mind trick thing to listen to the song. That's why I haven't removed them from my playlist. All these old crazy ass talented people ruining my life experiences. It's ridiculous. Brian is trifling, right? Well, the last story we had, it actually is more of a viral thing. So we're and it's a bunch of clips that I put together. So I'll probably push this into tomorrow's show if there's a tomorrow show. if there's a tomorrow show, we'll see. It may be my body telling me I got to take a day off. That way we can come hard on Friday. I think that's what's happening. So that might be what happens. That's probably what's going to happen. At least definitely how I feel right this moment. But I thank all of you for viewing, for joining us again this evening. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't as of yet. If you've lasted this long and you're not a subscriber, this is telling you that you're interested and you need to join the VPO community. Also, please definitely either way, hit that like button. We got 208 likes and 251 people at least viewing in this moment. But hit that like button, even if you are watching the replay later on. Our third shift crew, I know as many of you who watch overnight while you're at work and stuff, and I appreciate you for that. Praying that you get through your day and that it's a breezy one for you, and you ain't as tired as I am right now. Oh yeah, and so tonight we talked about, I'm trying to get better. And thank you, Sock Snob Films, because I think I forgot to mention the Cash App the other day that you did. I'm just trying to make sure I ain't missing nothing. Oh, and thank you, Christy H. Yep, that was tonight. Thank you, Christy. I'm glad I checked. Thank you, Christy H, for the Cash App. I greatly appreciate you. Tonight, if you joined us late and you're wondering, hey, what y'all do? Y'all about to leave? Vail, where you going? Yeah, Vail going. We talked about, half the show was literally the story of Mica Miller, who was the first lady of a church in South Carolina who died under mysterious circumstances, although they're calling it a self-induced unaliving. There's a lot of things in her storyline that tells a different story. And so we're going to be following that, but definitely you want to watch that if you're into that sort of thing. Then we had the pastor in Pennsylvania who God jammed that weapon when that crazy person came in there trying to take the pastor out. So you can watch that, and we got the video footage of that as well. Then we talked about the tweaking crackhead passenger who attacked the bus driver while the bus was moving out in Oklahoma City. Attacked him because he wouldn't make a stop at in between his stops, an unsafe stop, an undesignated place. Brawling with him while the bus is in motion. And then lastly, Brian McKnight and Tyrese, two obviously toxic people who got some major mental issues, sitting there capping for each other. So with that, I thank all of you for viewing this evening. Make sure to have a great evening, have a great night, and definitely make sure you're subscribed to our text community. All that stuff will be pinned in the description area and the first pinned comment below. The text community where you can follow and get notifications of when we're going live, because I may or may not come live tomorrow. But if you join the text community, you will always get those sort of notifications. Also our Facebook group, etc. So that information is in the video description below. But with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, make sure to take care and be blessed. And I think I'm gonna just sing y'all out with this.
Hey, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rain do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I'm fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib.